Hey everyone, it's Marcia Baker. Here I am. Hey, how are you this morning? Welcome, happy January. I am so excited to be here. I feel like it's been forever. I only did one Facebook Live last month, so I feel like it's been forever since I've talked to you guys. So I'm all excited that we're just getting started and do some cool things in January and this whole year. I've got planned. I'm really going to focus on our sketchnoting skills because I just think drawing just makes us happy. So hopefully, let me switch over to the screen. You can go now to the members only page and get the Iconology. That's what I decided to call it. Let's see, just making a few adjustments. So anyway, so this is a little workbook. So what I thought I'd do, so let me just switch over to the overhead. So let me see, let me do this one. There we go. So what I thought I'd do, get rid of this for a little bit, is I just want to make sure that I provide you a way that you're going to draw daily. So I just thought, maybe it would be fun if and I didn't print this double-sided. I don't know why I printed it in a hurry. So, and I got a boo-boo on my thumb, so I can't turn the pages. But anyway, so I've got all the months for you except for October, because we are going to do the Inktober in October. And hey Lorraine, thanks for being here, so appreciate it. So all right, how you doing? Feeling good? Feeling better? Been praying for you. I really have been. I hope you're doing okay. So anyway, back to this. So anyway, so I have this booklet, and then what I decided to do was I made bigger boxes, well, some pages, and then I decided to do maybe some circles and so on and so forth. So anyway, so I have all kinds of different little shapes for you throughout the year, and they're all numbered, so you can just do all 365 in one book. If you wanted to bind that, you could staple it. You put it in a notebook, and it could be all in the same place. So that's one reason. Oh my gosh! Hey, Joan and Cindy and Luz. Did you ever get your calendar? I remailed that, so hopefully you got that. But I got a bunch of calendars back in the mail. So I am. Hey, Lori. So I'm going to be remailing. So if you want anything from December and didn't get anything, I've got four more things came back. So I don't know what the deal is, but the post office, and the crazy thing is most of them have been correct addresses, and I send them again and they work. So anyway, I'm kind of all over the place this morning. But anyway, I am all excited. So today I just want to talk about icons. And so if you have paper and pen, or you have this ready, we're actually going to do, I thought maybe it might be fun to draw some of the more challenging icons, because I went ahead and, let's see, so here's my latest post, and I just did all the icons in one place. So there's a little reference. Now, I don't know if I'll be able to keep this up every month, but okay, I got a new iPad, so can you tell? I'm just trying to figure it all out and learn all the little ways to use it and that kind of thing. So I kind of just combined all the January icons in one page. Anyway, and I don't normally use color, but I just couldn't help myself with the pink donut. So couldn't help myself there. So, hey Denise, how are you? Oh, Luz, I'm glad that you got that. So I'm glad that at least one thing was delivered. So awesome. So today, let's see what I want to tell you. I want to make sure we get January icons. So stay tuned. Be sure you stay tuned. I'm just going to tell you, let's just do this. My next Facebook Live, I'm just all over the place today. There we go. My next Facebook Live is going to be January 15th at 10 a.m. It's a Friday. And I specifically picked that day because we are going to do the 100-Day Project. Do you remember the 100-Day Project? Where is my book for the 100-Day Project? It's like I just had it. Remember this? Yes. So here's my 100-Day Project from last year. So remember, I drew icons for 100 days. So this year, I'm going to personally do something. I'm not going to tell you what that is yet. But then I thought, oh, it would be so fun if we all did a 100-day project together. So I have this crazy idea in that I'm going to mail you something. And hey, JC. So yay! I'm so glad you're here. So anyway, for the next 100-day project. So I thought, would it be fun to do a collective, meaning that if we all take one day, if 100 of us take one day and post it, do the posting. Then it would be so fun that we all could participate and all be doing the same thing, and then it wouldn't be stressful, because I know a lot of you are really busy. January 11th is National Sketchnote Day, because it is the day that looks most like pencils, unless he's moving it to the 10th this year. So the 10th is, and it could be that he's just moving it up a day, because I think he's having a, who's he? He is, just looking at the calendar, so Sunday. So, anyway, I am all over the place. Anyway, so yes, so National Sketchnoting Day is a day that Mike Rohde, so Mike Rohde is the guy that wrote the Sketchnote Handbook, and he's the one that actually termed the phrase sketchnoting. And so Joan, where'd you get the 10th? I'd love to know that. So I think maybe he might be having a workshop that day, but in the past it's always been on the 11th, because it's because 1/1/1 is the day that looks most like pencils. Anyway, because I was like, why January 11th? And that's the date. So anyway, so he's actually doing a workshop on sketchnoting. You can check out his Rohde Designs, ROHDE Designs.com, or you can find him on Facebook. And he's got a Women's World magazine. I might have to check that out. So he's got a anyway, Facebook. I lost my train of thought. So anyway, all right, so the 100-day project, back to it. So here's the deal. So I'm not going to tell you exactly what we're doing, but I'm going to mail you some. So if you sign up for it, I'm going to mail you something, and then you're going to do something with it. Obviously, you're going to get involved, a little sketchnote doodle, and you're going to turn that right around, and you're going to put it back in the mail to me. So I am going to mail you obviously I'm going to mail you an envelope, and then in the envelope it's going to have another envelope, so you have to put this thing back in the envelope and mail it back to me. And I need everything back by the 31st, so we can get everything posted, and then that way we're good for 100 days. So if everybody just takes, the week of the, I need to put my calendar up, so the week of the 18th, I'm going to give you actually 2 weeks, from the 18th to the 29th, and I need everything posted back by the 31st, and sooner be better. Then we will post it, and we will just have this very cohesive, collective project. I'm very excited about it. So we need 100 volunteers. There will be a tiny cost to it, because postage is expensive. So we've got postage going, postage coming back, got some administrative expenses, and the thing that I bought and all that. So stay tuned. Actually, so right now I think it's going to be $3.50. That covers postage and administrative fees. And I'm not trying to make money here, just trying to cover my costs. So if anyway, and it's a small-ish thing. So it's not like I'm going to have you do this big sheet of paper. It's a small thing. So it's going to be fun, and it's going to challenge you, and I'm so excited. Anyway, so just stay tuned. And so great. Renee, welcome, is going to put it on the calendar. So that's awesome. And yes, and Lorraine wants in. So yes, you're in. So it'll be something you sign up for in the Etsy shop, and I'll get that all set up. But I will explain it all on the 15th and give you examples, and it's going to be fun. And I even figured out a way for the international folks to participate. So after the 15th, international people, if you direct message me or email me at blessingsatlive.com, I can send you how all that's going to work for you international people, and we'll go from there. So anyway, all right, so is that all the housekeeping things? I just want to tell you about that. Okay, I'm just going to write another thing. So two more things that I want to tell you. So on January 12th, at Visual Faith Ministries, visualfaithmin.org, or actually I'm going to be on their Facebook. So I'm going to be doing their Facebook Live on Tuesday. Let's see, on January 11th. Oh, how about the 12th? At 8 p.m. Eastern Time or 7 p.m. Central Time. So if you could join me there, I'll just be talking about generally sketchnoting, you know, how to use sketchnoting in your faith walk. So so that will be a fun thing. So that should be like, they keep those to about 45 minutes. So just trying to figure out how I condense everything that I'm doing down to 45 minutes. So, all right. So, all right. So, all right. So, what do you see? Denise, you need an explanation. All right. I know you're confused. So that's why you're going to tune in on the 15th, and I'm going to explain everything in great detail. So I'm whetting your appetite. So you're going to come back on the 15th. So just stay tuned. And the 15th is all going to be about the 100-day project and what we're going to do and how we're going to do it. So that's what that is. So, and nope, and Pamela asked about digitally, and I'm going to say no. And you'll understand why on the 15th. So, all right, yes. So please watch that. Okay, and then the other thing that on 3/6, so this is the save the date, there's going to be a virtual, all right, online retreat, and it's called Abide. And it's going to be through Visual Faith Ministries. All right, and that's going to be online. There we go. All right, so everybody gets it. So that's another thing to put on the calendar. So, so I get to speak. I'm so excited. So I'm working on my presentation this week, so I can get that in. They can do whatever they have to do with it, and we're all ready to go. So it will be kind of like the online Bible journaling, but I think there's only going to be like maybe 6 or 8 of us speaking, so it's just going to be a one-day. And it will be free for 24 hours. And then after that, I think they have some, you can purchase lifetime access or not, well, anyway, you can purchase ongoing access at a couple of different levels. And the one level, I think, I'm not sure about the prices and what all's involved, but on one level gives you access for forever. And then the next level up gives you access plus, like a subscription to some other things that Visual Faith Ministries is doing. So anyway, so that could be a fun thing, and they are just amazing. I just love working with these ladies. They're just amazing. So, all right. So hopefully you have started. I know a lot of you just, and again, if this is like too wielding, you don't want this much paper. Bev Wisher is still posting the monthly calendar sheets, and that totally works. So Iconology, and so I'm so excited. So Lorraine helped me contribute some of these words here on the word list. So here we go. So there we go. So there's that. So there's January, February, March, April, and then again, like I think I said before, October we're going to do the Inktober. So that's why I didn't do any words in October, so we don't have to do double the work. But the thing I love about Lorraine doing this is that if you like the word, I came up with it. And if you hate the word, Lorraine came up with it. So we're just going to, Lorraine, I'm just throwing you under the bus. So yes, Cindy, if you go to the members only page, I have not emailed this. I was going to email it after our Facebook Live today. So if you have a link to the members only page, so if you have an old email from me, then it will be at the bottom of the email. The members only link is always at the bottom of the email. So to get my printables, you need to sign up for my newsletter, and I don't spam you. I don't sell it. I don't do anything. It's just you and me, and then once you sign up for it, so put your name and email address and then hit submit, and then you should get an auto reply, and in that auto reply has the members only link if you're new to the email letter. And if you're you know, so if you have an old email, you can make that link, or you can just bookmark that link and it will be there. So don't require a password. I just ask that you sign up and support me in that way. So that just really helps to know that you're here. So you can get this packet, and I think it's 17 pages long if you do it double-sided. And I forgot to number the pages, so maybe that's something to go back and do. And so I was thinking this didn't print because we ran out of paper on the printer, so I only have up to 130. So I can only do 130 days in this packet, but I'll get the rest printed. So anyway, so what else do I want to tell you? I want to make sure we talked about the 100-day project, talked the online retreat. So drawing. So, all right. So we're just, this year, I'm going to talk about email very quickly and then talk about what my focus is going to be for this year. So email, I literally have 6,000 emails in my email, and I'm overwhelmed. And I feel like a lot of you are overwhelmed as well. And so, yeah. So I feel like I am going to just maybe send a monthly email with a recap of everything, unless there's something that is time sensitive, and then I might send an additional email. So I am going to try and cut back on the number of emails, which I know all the marketing people say that's just a bad idea, you know, because your people need to hear from you and all of that. But if you're in the Facebook group, I am posting regularly there. I'm also posting in the Bible Journal for Non-Artists group as well. So that, anyway, so I'm just trying to respect your time and respect your space, and I'm overwhelmed. So I feel like a lot of you are probably also overwhelmed. So in my monthly recap, it'll have links to all the posts that I've done for the month, so you can go back and check those out. If you subscribe to the YouTube channel, then you'll get a notice every time I post something new. So if you want to keep up with me on a more regular basis, you will be able to do that through the Facebook group and YouTube. So anyway, I hope that works for you. I just want to totally respect where you guys are. So, all right, so let's talk about Iconology. So, anyway, drawing daily is such an important practice. I mean, there's so many benefits to drawing daily. So we have this whole huge vocabulary, visual vocabulary within our beings that we don't develop, and because, oh, you know, we don't draw and we're not artistic. And so we're just going to just debunk that right now, because it is about the learning process. It is not about art. We are not creating art here. We are capturing images on paper. And when we put images on paper and attach that to something we're learning or reading or hearing, it just helps us understand just the process of drawing. Just the process of drawing helps us comprehend. Looking for a pen. And so anyway, that process just helps us understand what we're learning. So we have deeper comprehension. It helps us concentrate more and more focused. So there's just a ton of benefit. And so it gets your right and your left brain working together. So, you know, our brains are just going to be happier, and we're going to think deeper, better, faster. And especially when we and that whole process is called dual coding, if you want the fancy term and you want to go do more research about it. But it was developed in the 1970s by an Italian guy. Anyway, I should do a post on that, and we'll learn more about that guy whose name escapes me this moment. I know it starts with a P. Anyway, I'll do a post. Stay tuned. So yes, so Renee makes a good point that, you know, it's competition related to art. And because this is my son's story. You know, I have 3 engineers, and they are not artistic. And so my middle son's Sunday school teacher just related the story to me like 2 or 3 years ago, and I'm just was a little frustrated. Like, would have been nice to know at the time. But so when my middle son was like, you know, 5 or 6, maybe probably 6, because back then we were meeting in the Jiffy Lube church. Basically, there was a Jiffy Lube right next to us, and that's how we were known as the Jiffy Lube church. And so basically we had one Sunday school room. So that all the kids were in the same room, and from like 6 to 12. And so the assignment that the teacher had given was to draw something and then explain it. And so they were going around the circle, and the girl right before my son was 12 and was very accomplished drawer. And so, you know, she was, you know, had this beautiful drawing she was lifting up and you know, explaining it. And then there's Josh. And then so he was, you know, 6 at the time, and he just crumpled his thing up and threw it in the trash can and refused to share, because he just compared his to hers, and you know, just didn't think his art was good enough. And so he's never been a drawer or artistic sense. And so and that is just such a typical story that happens. We get intimidated, or somebody tells us our art's no good, and then we just stop that visual part of our brain. And there's just so many benefits to being visual. It helps your motor skills, and the biggest thing it does is help your brain, helps you stay focused, helps you be a better communicator. Makes your right and your left brain work together. I mean, and it helps your concentration. So tons and tons of reasons that having a larger visual vocabulary is just a good thing. And for our practical purposes, you know, having a visual vocabulary, so when we are sketchnoting sermons live, we don't have to stop and think like, oh, how do you draw that? We know we can draw that, and because we're going to start looking at things in basic shapes, and helping us just define things into basic shapes, and then we can draw from there. So that's kind of, in a nutshell, why drawing is so important. So and so therefore, I just thought just drawing something every day would be so important. We again, you know, a lot of the people that draw every day challenge you. They want you to fill up a whole page in your sketchbook, but we just want you to fill out a little tiny little box. All right, so I just might start today. So again, these are just suggestions of words. If the Lord plops something in your, like, if he gives you a message about ducks, and you know, you see ducks in the river, you see ducks flying, you see geese or something, and if he just gives you a message about how much he loves you and relates it to those ducks, and maybe you want to draw ducks today, even though it's not on the list. So, you know, we just want you drawing daily, and these are just word suggestions and not commandments. So you draw what you want to draw, and sometimes you're gonna just like, oh my goodness, I didn't even know how to draw that thing. And so hopefully that my little sheet up here, let me go to the screen, there we go, my little sheet will help you. Let's see if I can make that a little bigger so you can see that. There we go. You can see that I am doing a little shading, like there's a little shading on the donut and a little shading on the quiver, but a lot of times, and the mountains are fun. So, but a lot of times I don't, and I just leave them very blank, and I try not to color them. So when I do go back and I need a reference, then I don't have to worry about the colors, because sometimes we just need basics and we don't have time to color. So I'm just reading Jenny's post, and God is the creator. We are made in his image. Each of us creates gifts, and so we may be able may not be able to create with a pencil, but create with a screen, or create in the kitchen, or teaching lessons to children. That's right, we all have gifts. And in the beginning, God created. He is creative, and he expects us to create. And it doesn't matter. And a lot of us think that the only way we can be creative is through art. And that's not true, because really, in my opinion, problem solving is creativity. So whatever it takes, I mean, and most of us are moms out there, and you know that as moms, we are expert problem solvers. We can fix the kids' problems, and we can do you know, 42 other things at once, getting things done, just to make sure that all the wheels stay on the bus. And so we are good problem solvers, and so we are creative. And like I know Joan and Lorraine are creative in the kitchen. Me, not so much. Things in the kitchen and me, we generally turn out as a disaster. But this is my gift. My gift is to try and break down really simple things and show you how to draw them, and teach you. I am here to equip you to be more visual in your faith. How you can use these tools, use these icons in your sermon notes, in your Bible study, in your devotional time. I promise it's going to help you go deeper, and you're ready to develop a deeper relationship with the Lord. Really, that's our whole purpose of Blessings and Sermon Sketch Notes. So, all right, so let us not belabor this, because, oh my gosh, we're already 25 minutes. I think that, in my mind, I always think that, oh, I'm just going to like talk for like 5 minutes, and then I'm going to be done. And then I'm going to have like a 15-minute Facebook Live, and well, that never happens. Okay, so, I had, oh, here it is. Okay, I am going to draw a little bit bigger. I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to get my little list out. Okay, I'm not going to draw all of them, because you can see on my, if you go to the blog, that I do have all of them there, but I am open to suggestions. And so here's my process of, if I don't know how to draw something, I Google it. I type in clip art, or I type in illustration plus whatever. Go to the Noun Project. The Noun Project is awesome. It gives you very simple icons. That's what the Noun Project is about, drawing icons. And so, and some of them, like for example, mercy, like, oh, I didn't really like any of them. And so I kept looking for mercy. Like, in my opinion, I think mercy is the hardest one. I'm sure that's the word that Lorraine came up with. So all the ones that we're going to do today, Lorraine came up with, because they're the harder ones. Anyway, Lorraine, you were just a godsend to prepare all that for us this year. That was just huge. So, so anyway, so I'm going to start with mercy and get that done. And then I would, if you have suggestions, if you're looking at the list, so, I mean, I'm here. I can only show you one thing at a time. So, anyway, so I have some other suggestions that I'm going to draw, and if you want me to draw something else, you can let me know. So you can look at the website and look at my pictures about how we draw things. So Lorraine, I am just giving you a hard time, okay? I am going to just enjoy this year, because yeah, it's going to be, let's just blame it on Lorraine. Anyway, but no, Lorraine, you are challenging us. So I don't know where you got all these words, but I think they're awesome. But mercy is one of those words that we are going to use a ton of times in our sketchnoting. So if we have something that when we draw it, we know, oh, that's how we illustrate mercy, it's just going to help us just go a little faster. So I think it's just a huge word, a great word to get started with. So so actually, I'm just going to show you that I think these were from the Noun Project. But I thought, oh, maybe a crown of thorns. But to me, I felt like the crown of thorns was more about sacrifice. And there could be wings, and wasn't excited about that one. And then, I don't know about you, but we have a very large hospital system called Mercy. And so that is their logo. And then, of course, there's Mercy Me. So, but to me, this one is easy. And it just, I just actually started out with, I like this one as well. Hand giving a heart. But I just like this one because it's just very simple, easy to draw. So I think let's do this one. For me, that is my mercy icon. So, yes, and you can develop. Yes, I will draw a car stuck in the snow, but let's do mercy first, and then we'll do a car stuck in the snow, and then we'll do a few more, and we'll wrap it up. So, all right, so here's mercy. So basically it's a hand. So what's the shape? So we've got a heart. That's easy enough. So we're just going to draw a long line and kind of make a long oval. And then we're going to draw this other long oval kind of rounded shape. Okay. And then for me, I'm going to put a little cuff on it so we know it's a hand. Okay. So first thing we're going to do is I'm going to come down and you know that I'm going to tell you a few of these things, like the telephone is just crazy hard for me to draw. I don't know why I can't get that curve on that telephone right, and the stack of books is not as easy as it looks. So, but I'm getting better. You know, the first time I drew it was pretty ugly, but you know, I keep getting better and better. So the more you draw, the better you get. So if you don't like something that you draw, go take out a piece of paper and challenge yourself to draw it 10 times, and then put it in your workbook. Or if you don't like what, you can paste over or white out, whatever. All right, back to Mercy. So I'm going to draw. All right, okay. Are we going to be happy here? All right, so I'm going to draw a thumb, right? Like that. And then I'm going to come down and draw the fingers. And then I'm going to come down and I am going to cut it off like that, with, so you know it's a cuff. And then I'm just going to draw the heart. So let's go over that one more time. All right, so I came down and I drew a long skinny oval, and then I came down and then I drew another kind of long skinny oval and kind of curved it up. So, and then I drew a heart, and then that is Mercy. All right, so car stuck in the snow. Okay, I think that one's me. I don't know why I came up with that one, but a car stuck in the snow. So, all right, so first one, yes. All right, so Jenny likes the hand. All right, so, all right, so here's the car stuck in the snow. So the first thing we do is we draw the snow. So we're just gonna draw a curvy, wavy line. That's just snow. And then we're going to draw 2 half circles like that, right? And there's the tires, all right? And again, I'm going to use a little pencil here just to pencil in our, you know, so I'm going to just kind of like draw the car, right? Outlined like that. So you can tell, ooh, there's, you know, and it's about snow. So basically, I'm just going to take and draw the end of my car. So, and again, right there, you could probably stop, right? But I'm going to draw my doors, and then my snow. There we go. That's more what I want. All right, sort of mess that line up a little bit, but see, I put snow above the car, and then I drew, you know, the wheels under the car. So if you wanted, you could do something more like, what did I do here? So here's on my icon sheet, I again drew this, and I drew more of the car on my icon sheet. So there's my wheels, it's stuck in the snow, there's the bottom of the car, and then I draw very basic cars, right? So it's basically a rectangle, half circle, and another rectangle, right? And then you could just do that for the windows, a couple lines for the doors, and then if you wanted, you could just add more snow. So that's another way to draw a car stuck in the snow. Yeah, it's all right. I'll own that one. Lorraine did not come up with that one because it does not snow in California, where Renee is. Lorraine. Sorry, where Lorraine is. So, all right. What else? Mountains. Let's do mountains. Mountains are so easy, and it's also a good shading lesson. So So mountains are basically are 3 triangles with a couple more lines put in there. So I'm going to come up and I'm going to do kind of wavy triangles like that. So there's mountain. You could just stop right there, and you know everybody knows those are mountains. But if you wanted to add a little more depth, if you have a little more time, pastor's telling a story, I am going to put the sun over here. So if the sun is here, that means that it's going to be lightest. Ugh. See, this is what happens when you. So this is my rotating thing, and I just smeared it because I didn't give time to let it dry. Okay, so enough of that. So it's going to be brightest here, here, and here. So therefore, this side of the mountain is going to be darker. So we're just going to add another line to kind of show that the mountain's got some depth to it, right? And then we're just going to start filling that in. You know, you could do crosshatch, you could just do full, you could just color it in. That's whatever works. All right, like that. And now we have some depth because the sun is coming here, here, and here. And so the back side of the mountains are in shadow. So therefore, we're just going to add shadow there. All right? All right, what else? So what else could I draw for you? Sunset behind the mountain, right? Okay, just want to look at the comments, make sure I'm not missing anything. All right, so, okay. Yes, Brenda, thanks for being here. You can always catch the replay. So, what else? A stack of books. I'm going to start in pencil on here. Well, actually, no, I'm not. Basically, I'm just going to draw 4 rectangles. And I'm going to offset them. And if you're sermon sketchnoting, more than likely you know that's a stack of books and you can just be done. But we're going to give it a little perspective. So let's draw a box first. So, and then we can do any size. So there's a box. And so to create perspective, we're just going to add a diagonal line on 3 corners, and we're going to try and keep those lines parallel. So these 3 diagonal lines are parallel. And then we're going to draw a diagonal line this way, and we're going to make that line parallel to that. So those 2 lines are parallel. These 3 lines are parallel. These 2 lines are parallel. And then this line is parallel. And that gives us a cube. So we're going to do we're doing the same thing with our books. All right, but we're just going to show a little perspective. And so maybe we'll work more on perspective. This has always been kind of a big challenge for me, perspective. It's just a big challenge. So, you know, maybe if you have a big challenge with that. Coffee grinder. We'll get the coffee grinder next. Absolutely. So we'll finish the books. So I'm going to come off here, and I'm just going to do the top book, right? And so I came off and I did my 3 diagonal lines that are parallel, and then I made the line, this line back here is parallel to this, and this line is parallel to that. All right? So once I got that done, then I'm going to use that line. And so my books can all be, they don't have to be in the same plane, so to speak, if we remember our geometry. So this, we got to finish that book off there. All right. So, all right. So I'm having a little trouble with this middle book here. So, all right. There we go. All right. So I'm going to ink that in. So from the box, from this top, so I start with the top one, right? And so I had my long rectangle. So I drew my 3 parallel lines, and then this line parallels the spine of the book. So there's my top of the book, and then I'm going to put some lines in to show that I've got some pages. And then this book, so this line and this line are the same. There it is, that's the problem. So, and again, I'm just going to give some pages. And then this line, we see a little bit of the top of the book. So, just going to close that in. And then it takes a little practice, but you know, stack of books are not as easy as you think. But there's your stack of books, and then you could put, you know, things on the title, things on the spine, titles on the spine, to give you the idea of a stack of books. So the coffee grinder. So yes, thanks. You notice I did curve at the end of the, I curved it. So if I was just going to do one book, there's that. And then I'm just going to, basically it's the same box, I'm just making it flatter, right? So there's my diagonal line, they all curve, and then I'm curving it in, and then just drawing lines. And my lines are, I'm purposely using a fat marker so my lines are not as precise as we like to have them. So there's a book. Coffee grinder. All right, coffee grinder. So, all right, so coffee grinder. Actually, it's very easy. So we're going to start with a half circle, and that's where the beans go, right? And then I'm going to come up and I'm going to draw a rectangle, and I'm going to draw another line coming out to the side, and then a knob. And so if I want to make that round, I could do that. So, because that's the grinder part, right? So that's the pine you turn around and make that grind. So this is where the beans go. And then I'm going to draw a little modified trapezoid, because that's where the beans come. And then all I'm going to do is some more rectangles. So I'm going to just do like the molding of the box. And then I'm going to draw a box. And then I'm going to put another lip on the bottom of it, right? Molding. And then I'm going to draw a drawer, right? Which is just really a square with a handle. And now you have a coffee grinder. So, half circle, rectangle, line, and then we have a modified trapezoid. We have a rectangle, a square, a rectangle, and a rectangle. So if we start looking at things with their components of the shape of things, because remember, everything is either a line, a circle, a half circle, an S-curve, a zigzag, a spiral, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or a paisley, right? Everything that we have can be drawn from those 7 shapes, everything. So if we just start breaking it down, we can see the shapes in itself, right? So there's nothing on this list that you can't draw, right? There's nothing, none of these shapes are intimidating. You can draw them all, right? And then we can start combining them. You know, this is lines. We make a box. Then we start seeing shapes. All right? All right. What else? All right. What else was on my list? The chariot I thought was kind of a challenge. So again, I keep my things very simple. So I'm going to start with the wheel of the chariot because they're bigger, right? And then, you know, if you wanted to have a bigger, fatter wheel, and then we're just going to do some spokes in the wheel. All right, so and then here's my chariot. So I'm going to come up like that, and I guess we're not going to move in this chariot right now, right? So there's my chariot, and you can see, you know, it's a chariot. And so I'm going to just be a little more complicated and draw my guy. So I'm going to start with the head, and I'm going to have him lean forward a little bit, and I get his head backward. Oh well. All right, and then the Roman helmet. Sometimes had some feathers on it, so you can do that. Or you don't have to put a feather on it at all. And now we're going to draw the horse, right? So horse starts with a box. And so if we want him running, so we can make our legs be a little bit backwards. So here's the box. I'm going to draw another rectangle, and there's my horse. Sorry, everybody knows it's a horse. You got the long legs, and then his front legs will be out like that if he's running. And then we got to connect the horse, right? And then, so maybe, so he's got a little whip. So, and again, that's probably more complicated than we have time for in doing sermon sketch notes. So we got to keep it really simple. So maybe we only have time to draw the chariot, and maybe we leave space and we can always come back. I mean, that's the thing when you're sketchnoting. It's like, oh, I don't know how to draw that. Then we're simply going to leave a little space, and then we can come back and draw it later. So I like to get everything done while we're sketchnoting. So when my goal is for my sermon sketch notes to be done by the end of the last song, because basically we sing a song after the sermon, and so my goal is to have everything done. So, which is going to be kind of a challenge this year, because I went back to a white paper. I found like an 8x8 book. So maybe I'll talk about that next time. 8x8 book, 8x8 inch book. And so now I'm carrying markers with me. So I'm not using the brown paper page anymore. I just decided, I've been doing that for a couple of years and I got that book done. So maybe it's just time to go back and just gonna try a different size and just see if I like it. And if I don't, I'll go back to the brown paper package. All right, what else do we want to draw? Icicles are, so if there's a house, let's just say we have a house, right? And then icicles are easy. I'm going to draw it like over-exaggerated icicles. Well, maybe not. All right. So they just kind of hang down like that, right? And then if we can just give them a little, there's my house. Let's draw the rest of the house. Otherwise, we really don't have the context of what we're talking about. So let's draw the icicles. So we're going to assume they're from, so we're just going to, do little curvy-esque lines, right? Right? And then if we can add texture to give us light and medium and dark. So if we decide the sun is coming this way, no, let's assume the sun is coming this way, then let me put the sun there so we'll know. So then these front parts are going to be light and the back parts are going to be dark. So if we can just add little lines, stippling would be dots, so we might add a little bit of that. Stippling is simply just adding dots. That's what stippling is. So it's kind of hard to see, but that's stippling. There we go. And so we might add a little bit of stippling at the bottom, but on the far side and maybe up here, we're just going to add a little stippling just to kind of a little bit more depth to say, it's not all the same color, it's, not all the same. You're going to see different shades and tints of things. So, but there's icicles. All right, what else? Am I missing anything? Yes. So, Renee, did I miss any other suggestions? Because we're at 49 minutes. So I just want to do a couple more things. And then we will call it a day and you guys can get back to your week. So a battleship, really easy. So I'm going to draw water. So again, those are just half circles, inverted. And so I'm going to just start with a curved line. I'm going to draw another straight line. I'm going to come back and draw another curved line. So, and then just going to draw a box for the command center and another box, and you can either keep going up, and then maybe I'm going to come over here and draw another box and maybe a long box like that. And then if you wanted to do guns, right? So, you know, if we're talking about spiritual battles, or in our sermon sketch notes, you know, if we're getting ready for war, challenge, spiritual battle, you know, this could be a choice. So again, this is just, it's a straight line with two curved lines on the side, and then really 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rectangles. And then I drew like another rectangle here for the guns, and then I just drew a straight line out. All right, so is that technically correct? So is that you know, is an engineer gonna laugh at me? Probably, but do I care? No, because it's just for my sketch notes. So all right, so oh, maybe draw the quiver. I think that's another thing. Oh, the telephone is another thing I really had challenges with. So so the telephone, it's just the bane of my existence. That whole curve for the top of the phone is just, and then what happens afterwards, I've probably drawn 100 telephones and I don't get it. It just doesn't work for me. So I'm going to come up and I'm going to just draw the old time dial. All right, telephone. This part I got, you know, and again, maybe I could just stop right there, right? That's actually one of the better telephones I've ever, but that's not really how it works. But anyway, but you know, it's telephone, right? It can be something like that. So if you want to draw an older type telephone, like maybe like the 1930s version, they look like this. So it was a straight line, and then I'm just going to do two curved lines, and then maybe just a little half circle. So that's to create the receiver, right? And then it sat on a square U, and then there was a rectangle, and then I'm going to draw a trapezoid. So trapezoid is really a four-sided thing, but the two sides are flared. And there's that. My proportions are maybe not the greatest. This should maybe be bigger for as big as that headset is. So maybe I should maybe have made that a little bigger, something like that, to be more in proportion. See, so I don't always get it right. All right, and oh, here's the other type of old phone. So this is the 1920s version. So we're going to draw a circle and a circle, and then I'm just going to draw a little lip, and then I'm going to draw, well, so it's a short rectangle. I'm going to draw a long rectangle, and then I'm going to draw kind of a rounded trapezoid, because that's where the dial tone goes, or the dialing goes, right? So there's dial. And I'm going to come over here. I'm going to draw the receiver, and that was one of those round things. So I drew a rectangle over here, and then I'm going to draw a half circle here, and I'm going to come out. I drew two lines, and then so it looks like a little badminton, right? So it looks rounded at the bottom, flared at the top, and rounded at the top. So that's what our receiver looks like, but I'm going to break it up by putting it on this holder thing. And then I'm going to draw the cord and maybe put some lines in my receiver. And there's an old type telephone. All right, so I think that's about it. So you've got my sheet, and so be sure to tune in. So again, for the people like maybe watching on Facebook, so if you want the icon workbook or doodle inspiration book, you can get that by signing up at the at my website on www.blessinks, that would be .com, missed that part, .com, right? And if you're not part of our Sermon Sketchnote Facebook group, Sermon Sketchnote Boss Facebook group, we would love it if you would join us there, because we want to see what you're posting. We want to see how creative you are, and we want to join in that. So don't forget to join me next Tuesday night at visualfaithministries.org and Facebook. And I'll tune in, and I'll be talking about sketchnoting, and I will let you know when it's time to sign up for the Abide Conference, but put that on your calendar to set that aside. And then just remember, our next Facebook Live is January 15th at 10 a.m. on Friday. So, and I will tell you all about our collective 100-day project. And if you want to do your own 100-day project, I really encourage you to do that as well. But I just thought it'd be fun if we all did one thing. If 100 of us did one thing for the 100-day project, it would be really fun. And just to get that out there and get that posted. And it's going to be fun. So stay tuned, and I will let you know about that. All right. Thanks so much for tuning in. I totally love you guys. You guys have been just a huge blessing, and I will see you on the 15th.